Take me into the history of philosophy and how philosophy has dealt with this question, because my impression is that consciousness was not always considered a problem for philosophy. I mean, if you go back to Plato and Aristotle, did they talk about consciousness?
Yeah, that's really extremely interesting because we do find so many of the basic philosophical questions first being formulated by Plato and Aristotle, but I don't think there is quite this problem for them. Excuse me. I mean, they, yeah, not consciousness per se. I mean, Plato had this tripartite theory of the soul, but it was different. There were three different kinds of consciousness that he was concerned with there, with reason, the will, and the passions, the bad passions, and so.
So when did it become
I think
a
it really comes in the
philosophical issue?
17th century, and I think that we had to have a clear enough notion of matter, the scientific notion with the formation of modern science, modern physics, with Galileo particularly, and his notion that the book of nature is written in the language of mathematics. Those who would peruse this great book must first learn the language. And so, so everything that could be expressed mathematically really existed in matter, and everything else was deposited in the mind. So his distinction between primary and secondary properties. So there are the primary properties of matter that are really objective and external and characterize the external world. And then there's, the feel of things, the colors, the smells, the tastes. And that couldn't easily be given a mathematical expression, and it was deposited in the mind. And then you have the problem of, well, how does the mind fit in with the body? And so you have Descartes, a contemporary of Galileo, putting forth something very much like this problem, and of course he asserted Cartesian dualism, that there's the body and there is the immaterial mind, and they somehow interact in the region of the pineal gland. This is when it makes its entry, and Leibniz has an argument that Ned and I were recently talking about that really seems to be, an anti-mechanistic argument, that mind just can't be assimilated to the mechanistic conception of matter that was coming into existence, and that is almost synonymous with modern physics